Well, hello and welcome to another edition of 907 Sports, where it is all Alaska all the time. Hand me the clipboard because I'm going to be calling the plays in this one. Let's run a little Y2 Spider Banana on 3. Ready, break, as I welcome you and wish you a happy football season. Preseason is underway in the NFL, college getting ready to kick off, while week 1 is in the books for high school football here in Alaska. 10 games being played around the state, except for in the interior, and we'll get to that in just a minute. So many games, where to begin? I'd say number 1, Colony versus number 2, West. Anchorage is not a bad place to start. The nest on Hillcrest, West looking to protect. No need for Friday night lights just yet, but it didn't take long to light up the scoreboard. West back Davis Iloilo finding the end zone from short range. Eagles strike first and set up to get the ball back, but the punt is muffed and recovered by the Knights. However, you cannot advance the ball in high school, so Colony takes over at the 20, and that's no problem because the very next play, Jack Nash finds Trevor Jameson, his new favorite target this year, and he counts the defenders he caught it on, gets the flag, but it also gets Colony on the board. Knights get the ball back, but not for long. Rare mistake by Nash, picked off by Dylan Sanders, looking more like Deion Sanders there. West able to capitalize on the turnover. Iloilo once again puts West up a touchdown. Now Colony quick to strike back because their quarterback is quick. Jack Nash just as dangerous with his legs. A magician re-emerging from the scrum down the sideline for 6. Jameson, you saw him with the hands on offense. There he is with the tip drill interception on defense. Great hands there, maintaining concentration. However, West is marching, and Aaron Hampton is one of the most dangerous weapons in the state. Came up with the interception in this one, as well as taking the screen pass all the way to the house. West feeling themselves and start to get in the groove a little bit. Azaria Antonio up top to Ariel Sanchez. Eagles on the board once again. West starting to run away with this one. We got one more highlight to show you. Antonio tries to keep it himself, get stuff before the ball pops free, and before it touches the ground, none other than Aaron Hampton with the awareness comes up with it, goes straight to the end zone there. I can't explain it any better than what you just saw. West High statement win over the defending champs. They're your new number 1 team in the state after the 41-20 victory. Now the beauty of 907 Sports is we got all the time to break down these games. No time constrictions, so that was just one of the heavyweight bouts we saw. The other one happened in Wasilla because it was supposed to happen in Fairbanks. The wildfires in the area moved that to Wasilla. Sohai and Lathrop, a rematch of last year's state title game. That is cleared up, and they're going to be playing games in Fairbanks. And if you think Sohai wasn't thinking about that championship loss last year, think again. First play of the season, they take it to the house. That's Wyatt Faircloth on that one, setting the tone early. But the defending champs are quick to respond. Jenner Webb takes the handoff and goes into the end zone. The Stars marching quickly down the field. Colin Peck taking the ball up the middle, almost untouched. It's so hard to follow the ball as a defender in that wing T offense. And as a camera person, I've been fooled more than once for sure. Sohai starts throwing the ball, then you really know you're in trouble. Zach Buckby to Faircloth. This time he gets the Stars up a touchdown. Solomon Wade's going to find Luke Sinner, a 6'2 sophomore. Big target as the Malamutes are not backing down just yet. This one went back and forth until it didn't, and that was in the second half. Same connection as earlier. Buckby to Faircloth all alone in the end zone. He had a hat trick of touchdowns in this one. Next possession after getting the stock, Buckby keeps it himself, looks dead in his tracks, muscles his way to the end zone. Sohai runs away with it, 56-20 week 1 victory.
Battling for the end zone and gets it for the
Let's check in on the D3 level now. Houston not playing with their food in the opener. Most points in week 1, 60-0 over Reddington. Hawks, historically known for running the ball, saw 4 touchdown passes from quarterback Carter Syme, and they had a wonderful game in that one. As we take a look at all of the scores from week 1 with Service and Bartlett highlights playing in the background. Cougars big time victory over the Golden Bears 41-12. Jonathan Taua counting for 5 touchdowns in the game, including a pair to Blaze Renner. Kenai shut out Kodiak 37-0. Diamond starts off the season 1-0 with a 24-19 win over South, while Wasilla was all over West Valley 48-24. Eagle River blanked North Pole 21-zip. Homer, the defending D3 state champs, 38-12 over Barrow, while East visited the state's capital and came away with a 21-6 win over Juneau. And if that's got you excited for the rest of the season, here is a look at the Week 2 slate. We got 5 games on Friday. In Division 1, we see East hosting Service in a battle of 1-0s, while Bartlett and Colony square off in Colony. Both teams looking for their first win. And Chugiak hosts West Valley. Houston takes their talents to Kodiak, while on Saturday, Kenai travels up to the top of the world to face Barrow. Homer hosts Reddington. Diamond takes their 1-0 record to the Hungry Huskies in Juneau, searching for their first win. Palmer hosts Lathrop. Wasilla visits Eagle River, while West and South square off for the nightcap to conclude Week 2. Now, before we get out of here, I just want to give one more shout out to Diamond West Little League. They were as close as any Alaskan team has ever been to making it to the Little League World Series, which began today, and they received a well-deserved warm welcome home over the weekend.
I was ecstatic with their performance. They exceeded my expectations.
Team Alaska accomplished something no squad from our state has done in 17 years.
Breaking call. Called third strike. Game over. And Alaska advances to the Northwest Region semifinals with a 10-2 win over Idaho.
The 10 to 12-year-olds from Diamond West Little League marched their way to the Northwest Regional Championship game for the first time since 2006.
And he does. Alaska is moving on to the championship to face Washington tomorrow night.
And although they fell one game short of Alaska's first appearance at the Little League World Series, the boys represented well and received a warm welcome home late Saturday night.
I think Alaska gets undervalued a little bit in these, though, because we have some talented kids here, and we don't always perform the best we can when we travel that far, but it's nice to get a little bit more respect in these type of situations.
Alaska dominated out of the gates with a 10-2 win over Idaho, highlighted by back-to-back home runs from Cole Seymour and James Damrell.
Too. Looks like he's got home run power if he gets a hold of one. Goes opposite way, going back and gone. Back-to-back jacks for Alaska.
While Cleto Brito received national attention for his elite performance on the mound, a complete game shutout that featured 9 strikeouts and just 2 hits.
Being able to use the fastball, the breaking ball off of it, and even after a couple hits and some base runners, did not phase Cleto Brito and what he's been able to do, striking out the last batter of the game to get the win for Alaska.
I mean, at first I was a little shy, but then I got to fiddle it, and then I just played like no one was watching me on the cameras and stuff, so I just played how I normally play.
While also receiving attention for his elite hair. Any comments on your hair?
Everybody loves it. It's just fun to look at and play with.
Cleto's hair got a lot of attention for sure, and got a lot of highlights. But no, I mean, they deserved it. This team deserves some of that recognition because they really performed well on a big stage, and it was really cool for these kids to get to come home, sit in the hotel, turn on SportsCenter, and see highlights of their game for the day. I mean, it was surreal for them, I'm sure. It was cool.
Well done, boys, and that's going to do it for this edition of 907 Sports. Plenty of ways to reach out. If you got a story idea, tips, athlete of the week nominee, you can do so at sports@ktU.com, emailing or find me on Twitter, Jay Rodenberger @handle or X or whatever it's called. Now I'm going to keep calling it Twitter, but you can reach me out there, or of course sports@ktU.com. You can submit your fish frames to alaskasnewssource.com. Be a part of that as well, with the fishing report airing every Thursday. We still got a handful of more of those to go through the season, and of course athletes of the week are every single week until the end of time, so be sure to submit your nominees, and if they don't get the full feature, they certainly can get a shout out at the end there as well. So many great athletes across our state, and it's a huge state. I can't be everywhere at once, so if you got some tips, news, feel free to reach out. But anyways, that's going to do it for this edition of 907 Sports. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.